Welcome to another episode of Greatman Ayilara teaching, where we seek simply to know. Please ensure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification button, and to share with your friends. Hello, everybody, and welcome again to this fresh episode as we kick off our discussion on a new plane. My name is Greatman Ayilara, and if you're joining us for the first time, either here or on another platform, please do ensure to subscribe to this YouTube channel because this is where you learn the truth. Now, from the archive of the questions that I have been getting, I got this particular one, and it looks very interesting. Now, this person is asking spiritual leaders, are they necessary? What is the importance of the spiritual leaders? And in asking, the whole question is not limited to present day spiritual leaders. It spans to those who have lived before we are. Talk about Jesus Christ from Nazareth. Talk about Muhammad from the Middle East, the Mecca or Medina. Talk about Buddha, talk about Confucius, talk about several others who have been around, who has given us their own ideology of life and try to awaken us. Now, in putting back the question to everybody right now, I want to ask this. Are you awakened enough? Are you enlightened enough? Are you intelligent enough not to need someone to show you the way? Because some people feel this is a kind of spiritual conspiracy between the creator of the universe, the source of all spirit, and then the spiritual leaders. So he created the universe and he kept the secret on how to live it to some people called spiritual leaders. Now, except the spiritual leaders have gotten the key without the awareness of the one who owns the door, which is God in quote. Or maybe the God in quote has called the spiritual leaders down and said, okay, I'm going to hide the source of life and the creation of the universe from every other person, but I'm going to give it to you people. Now, maybe to make money off others, maybe to turn others to slaves. So that's where we are going to start asking, are these people really necessary? Do we have a need of the service of spiritual leaders in our lives? Now, here is what I want you to know. I want you to know that you are awakened enough. You are enlightened enough. And except you are lying to yourself, you know the truth and you know the lies. There's something in you. And that's why, as seekers, we do not identify to be a Muslim or a Christian, to be this or to be that. We chose to just live according to the amount of revelation, knowledge that we have been exposed to per time. So we do not judge you. You might not believe in what we believe in. We might not believe in what you believe in. But we believe in peaceful coexistence of mankind, irrespective of your doctrine, your ideology, is it dogma or open-minded. Now, as a seeker, this is one thing that I have found to be true for all mankind. We know the difference between evil and good, but we internally need someone to tell us. So when things go wrong, we have someone to put the blame on. Everybody is looking for opium. Everybody is looking for a placebo. something that can be responsible for their joy, for their sadness, for their sorrows, for their happiness, for their success, or even for their failure. Nobody want to take responsibility that, okay, I did this because I'm aware of what I'm doing. So in the religious settings, we need spiritual leaders. In the labor market, we need the CEO. So people don't want to take a risk of starting their own company. They need to work with someone. Oh, in marriages also, we need the head and we need the woman. In parenting also, we need the mother and the father and the children. So we organized our lives to be blamed on someone, to be blamed on someone else. And we have forgotten that as long as we keep living that way, we'll never be able to get anything done without the approval of a man like us. And that wasn't what I think the intention of the source of life, the creator of the universe is. He wants you to come as you are because the right amount of knowledge that you need to make life worth living has been given to you at birth. That's why a child who is yet to know the difference between left and right or yet to start working, when he or she bites the mother's nipple, they want to see the reaction of the mother. Are you okay with that evil I did to you? If it's okay, so I'm going to turn it to good. Who taught them to be guilty of their act? Nobody, because it is part of human nature. Now, whoever created this universe surely must have given us a part of the software which is used in becoming a being while we're coming in this world. And that's why you didn't create air. You didn't know how the sun came to be. And you didn't even know why you are a male or a female. So the science will explain to you X chromosome, Y chromosome, and all that. Who created the chromosomes? So except you are going to be living in illusion, that's why you think that there is nothing responsible for all of this. But if someone is responsible for all of this, should we go through another person to reach out to that person or that being or that spirit that is responsible for all of this? No. No, I don't think so. Now, the moment you are intelligent enough and you are aware enough, what happens is that you can sack your spiritual leaders. Once you are awakened enough, you have the right enlightenment, you can sack your religious leaders. As a matter of fact, they will sack themselves. Now, I tell you a story about Buddha. Let's talk Buddha. Now, Buddha said, I want to know everything about knowledge, the source of life, all there is to know in this world. I don't want to be left in the dark. I don't want to leave this world being a novice. So he denied himself of some certain kind of pleasure, some certain kind of luxury, some certain kind of association. And he said, I'm going to go in search of truth. And he left, walking from one village to another village, searching for the truth. He will cross the rivers, he will swim the ocean, he will climb the trees and even the mountains, looking for the truth. He wasn't eating well, he was almost becoming a frail bone. And one day, as he's about to just cross a particular brook of water, this is a man who have gone through the oceans, the sea, the mountains. But then there is a brook that is flowing between him and the shade right in front of him. He wanted to sit under that shade. And he had no strength to cross because now he is exhausted, looking for something that will explain to him the source of life. During those times, his sojourn, he has amassed so much disciples for himself. They followed him every now and then. They hailed him. Another point, he said, I will not sit under this tree. I will stay where I am and I will meditate here. So he sat down because he had no strength and he meditated. He closed his eyes for like 5 hours. To him, But to others, it's up to like 5 days. And when he opened his eyes, he told his people, cook something, let us eat. Let us dance, let us sing, let us marry. And they said, what is wrong? All the while you've not eaten anything. We believe that knowing God or the one who created the world deserve you or require you to be starving, to fast, to pray, either violently or gently, to live some certain kind of pious life and to deny yourself the goodness of this world. And he said, no. Suddenly I realized that what I was looking for outside and asking people to tell me is inside of me. Suddenly I got to know that the formation and the knowledge that I am asking for outside of me is already within me. And I am the only answer to my own question. So let us cook and marry. Do you know what happened? Everybody left him. They sacked me. Team. The moral of this story is the fact that people will always come after you as long as you are stupid like they do, as long as you are foolish like they do, as long as you live your life without direction like they do, as long as you leave your destiny, your fate, and your karma in life in the hand of another person. But the moment you discover the truth and you are set free, they leave you alone. Now, even they do not know the reason why they are leaving you alone, but nobody really want to see you free. Nobody want to see you free. If you today say, I'm not going to the church I'm going to anymore, I don't want to go to that mosque anymore, I don't want to have any religious affiliation, I just want to love people, I just want to answer my own question from within me, all hell will break loose and they will come after you. They'll give you different kind of names. Now, Buddha in his days will always look outside of him for the answer that is inside of him. But the day he chose to look inward of him for that question is asking for, every of his associate, every single person that loves him, they left him. And that is what is going to happen to you the day you begin to look for spirituality inside of you, not outside of you. Automatically, you take away your spiritual leaders out of work. You just suck them out of work because now they don't have a heaven to market to you anymore. There is no hell to scare you with anymore. There is no, oh, the mighty hand of God is coming down on you. There is no brimstone that they can use to victimize you anymore. Now you have known the truth, and this truth has set you free. Now let's look at the life of a very great person who has lived, Jesus, that man of Nazareth. He said something. He said, see, when you discover the truth will set you free. But this is the explanation that you do not know from that word, that statement. He said, the truth don't only set you free by taking you out of the gnashing of some people or the jaw of death. The truth set you free in the times of the fact that liars begin to leave you alone. The moment you know the truth, there is something that change in your mind, in the way you talk, in the way you reason, in your life entirely. And those who are with you parasitically automatically know that this guy is now aware. This woman is now enlightened. We cannot make a fool out of him anymore. We cannot make a jest out of her anymore. So automatically they become your enemy. And that's what Jesus was telling you. That's what he was telling you. Muhammad said something like that. He said, Idina sirata le mustaqim. Idina sirata le mustaqim. He said, it is only God that can show a man the way. It is not me, your prophet. It is not Jesus, the Messiah. It is only God. And where is this God? See, the location of God to you determines if you will be totally free from spiritual marketers. The location of God to you determines if you will be totally free from spiritual gymnastics. Those spiritual athletes, those who milk you dry based on the word spirituality. If your God is one in the sky or in heaven, you will forever be a slave to the man on the altar. But if your God is right within you, you own it. You know it. You listen to him. And instead of you to ask question from outside. You ask questions from within. And except you are mind deafened, you will agree with me that there is always a response to every of your query in life. And that's what you call the power of your mind. Then you say, something is telling me, my spirit is telling me, the Holy Ghost is telling me. Now, all of those names you use to qualify that God in you does not matter. Are you hearing a voice? You want to make an attempt on a business, and you sat down, you're thinking, and aside from the business knowledge that you have gathered at the financial workshop you have been to, there is another voice that has nothing to do with this secularism, telling you do, don't, giving you peace and troubling your mind not to do. The problem why spiritual leaders will persist is this. A man walking one day and he slept by his wife's side. And all of a sudden, the wife started hearing new noise from downstairs, from their parlor downstairs. And he woke up her husband, and said, hello, Bayo, are you awake? And Bayo said, no. Now, what happened there? Bayo was tapped and he was asked, are you awake? A Bayo that is saying he's sleeping have the gut to say no. Now, it is easy for you to awake someone who is asleep and knows they are sleeping. But the problem with most people in this world is that they are awake, but they pretend that they are sleeping. What does that mean? They know the truth, but they pretend to be ignorant. Now, if someone is awake, oh, where is this coming from? Nature. They always find their way. I think that is butterfly. I love butterfly. If someone is awake, sorry about that distraction. If someone is awake and they pretend to be asleep, you do not even know where to start waking them up from. But if someone is truly asleep and they are really asleep, you can either wake them up by just tapping their shoulder, whispering their name, or if they refuse, you can pour cold water on them. You see, whoever tap you, whisper into your hearing, pour cold water on you, are those spiritual leaders. Why are they at work? Why do they have a job to do? Because you are asleep. They have a job to do because you are asleep. You have not yet started yielding to your higher self. That's why those who are aware and enlightened think they need to now wake other people up. Not because God called them, not because it is their job, but because they are passionate enough to tell you that the world didn't create itself. If the world did not create itself, then let us find who created the world and live according to the manifesto of that person. That is all about it, about spiritual leaders. That is what every single one of them came to do. Now, when talking about spiritual leaders, I'm not talking about these men that you see around nowadays who are milking you dry. Of course, they pretend to be spiritual leaders also. Depends if you are submitting yourself to them. But for majority of people in the world, especially in this part of the world, you are awake, but you pretend to be asleep. Why? Because you don't want to get to work. You are awake, but you pretend to be asleep because you don't want to get to work. What is the work? Taking responsibility for every of your action. You know God exists. You know there's more to your life than just going to a place, a man preaching over you, and you say amen, 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 and all that, and go again and get service over and over again, and you pay service charges. You know there's more to your life. You know, you should not be sitting down in a place saying that, okay, what is the leg of God? What is the eyes of God? 7 days of glory, 20 days of visiting and all that. You know, you should be out there helping people. It is within your inherent divine nature that your job as a person who is aware, who is a human being, is to help other people, to be in the service of other people, either through your gifting or your giving or your charity or explanation of what love means or practical show of that love. You know that that is your duty. But because you do not want to take responsibility, you spend half of your life, sometimes all of your life, hearing the same thing over and over again. You are awake, but you pretend to be asleep. So you create jobs for spiritual leaders also. You create jobs for spiritual leaders. So what does it take you to actually say, okay, if I pretend to be asleep while I'm awake, they are still going to be banging my head, take responsibility, live up to responsibility. There is job for you to do, move out there. If you are going to get the job done anyway, why don't you start right away? Why don't you start right away? If you are going to get a job done, if you know that when you wake up in the morning, all you have to do is just to brush your teeth and have your bath and then go out there and go hustle for money. Why do you keep snoozing your alarm? Why do you keep snoozing your alarm? A lot of you are living a life of snoozing right now. Most people are snoozers. Oh, you are meant to wake up by 4:30 a.m. The alarm never stops waking you up. Now, the alarm is the spirit inside of you, that God inside of you. Now, your alarm is not far from you, it's always by your bedside. The way God is not in heaven, it's within you. Whatever shape you take, you make him to take, he will take it. Whatever you want to take him to, he will be there with you. He is always everywhere at the same time. Your alarm is never in the parlor while you're sleeping in the bedroom. And your alarm is not meant to wake up your neighbor, it is meant to wake you up. So it is a personal relationship thing. But most people put on the alarm or the alarm go off by itself, but we keep snoozing it. We keep snoozing it. We keep snoozing it. And because you keep snoozing it, you say, okay, 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes. Because of your 10 more minute procrastinated life, look at your age right now. What have you achieved so far? You keep hearing the same thing over and over again and over again, that you begin to now feel the job of making heaven on earth is for some people, not you. You are in a hurry to go to heaven because you have made a mess of the earth. Until heaven begins to collapse on everybody's head, we will never be able to live up to the maximum potential that we are created for. Until people, especially spiritual leaders, stop telling us that there is heaven or hell, we will never be able to make heaven here on earth. The reason why people are eager to get out, make a mess of where they are, is because they feel there is a better place out there for them. When you know there is no better place, that this is all you've got, you make the best out of it. So you keep snoozing it. You think it's the job of the pastors. You think it's the job of the Christians to take care of poor people. You think it's the job of the Muslim to do other things. You think it's the job of the traditional worshiper. You think it's the job of the seeker to go look for information and come tell you. You think it's everybody's job but you. So we have some spiritual leaders who are saying, okay, you say it's our job. Then you got to pay for our duties. You got to pay for our services. So you will keep paying for the spiritual services of those leaders because you choose not to step into the same office like that where you are supposed to be. So you keep snoozing, you keep snoozing. And what happened to snoozers? They miss the appointment. They always arrive late. And they're always in a hurry because they have lost track of time. They're always in a hurry. And when you are in a hurry to do things, nothing gets done. You create more disaster than peace. You brush your teeth halfway, so you go out, you keep smelling. You have your bath halfway, so you get out, you have body odor. You tuck in your shirt halfway, so you look irresponsible and unkept. You arrive work halfway while you're supposed to meet some target. You couldn't because everything has become halfway. And who determines this halfway of who way? It is you. Why? Because the alarm keep going off inside of you, but you chose to snooze it. For how long will you keep snoozing this alarm of responsibility inside of you? So until vast majority of us begin to now step into a place of seeking to become divine, not because we are searching to meet God, but because we are seeking to become God. The spiritual leaders will keep being necessary because their job will be to be reminding you there is God, there is God, there is God. Okay, I know there is God. What does He want me to do? They can't tell you what God wants you to do, except to give you a list of commandments that will scare the hell out of you and list of things that will make you feel, oh my God, just scary stuff. And they keep making it difficult for you to even become what you have been made to be, because if you begin to find out the truth for yourself, they will be out of job. They can't fool you no more. They can't deceive you no more. They can't tell you A is B no more, because you are awakened right now. You are enlightened. And this is exactly what this platform is for, to awaken you. Because you are more than what you think you are right now. You don't have to set you right away. Be a seeker. I would not call myself a Christian, Muslim, or religious person. I'm a seeker. And but as for many people that listen to this message that I teach, I say to them, do not assume what you are yet. Do not be static in defining yourself. Constantly seek for more. And the more you seek for, the more you realize that you do not know. And your solid form begin to melt into a liquid form. And you can penetrate into anywhere in the world. Don't settle, no matter your age right now. Don't say you can't learn more. Keep asking questions. Keep looking for information. Whatever it is that you're finding, you're seeking, you'll find. A seeker is the highest spiritual person in the world, because he believes he doesn't know it yet, so he kept searching for it, kept looking for it. And because I don't know is the greatest acceptance of knowledge, you will never be stranded when it comes to information. So he said, people perish because they lack understanding or they lack information. Why do people lack information? Not because they are not seeking for it. Those who are seeking always find, but because they assumed that they already know enough. So the moment you bring yourself under an umbrella and say, I am a Christian, you have stopped being a seeker. Because whatever it is that you will ever know in life will not be beyond the scope of your Christianity. Whenever you say, okay, this book is our manual for living, you will never be able to know other things that is not within the confinements of that book. When you say, I am a Muslim, a proud Muslim, you have made Islam the beginning and the ending of your existence in life. And so if Islam is about peace, you're always looking for peace at all costs, even at the cost of war. At the cost of war. And you're ready to defend the things that you know nothing about, because you have put a label on yourself. Do not ever put a label on yourself. Don't you ever put a label on yourself. And please, if you want to put a label on yourself, please go ahead and do that. But don't train your children to put a label on themselves. When they were born, they knew nothing about what you are doing right now. They had no clue there is Christianity, there is Muslim Islam, there is this and that. They just came to the world to come and seek, and they keep asking you questions. And that's how the spirit of life wants you to live the rest of your days. So you ask a child, ask you a question, Mommy, can I ask you something? And the child asks, and from answering that question, the child asks you another question from another question from another question, because they are inquisitive, they are curious, they want to know. And because they have tendency to get more information, they grow so quickly and they make you proud. But whenever you shut them down and say, no, you don't do this, they begin to depreciate in value and potential. That's what you do to them at home. That's what you do to them at school. That's what the teachers tells them. You don't ask too much questions, you will find out for yourself. Ask questions. That's why Jesus said, you cannot even enter this heaven except you go back to be a baby. Go back to be a baby. That's the meaning of being born again. Some of you think being born again is confessing, oh Lord Jesus, and all of those things, those ritual and rites that Christians do. That's not what Jesus meant. Being born again means be like a child, learn like a child, ask like a child, be curious like a child, be inquisitive like a child, seek like a child. And because you are seeking more, you never hold anything so tight. So children fight each other today because they want to seek more, they forget things and they just move on. Said, except you become like a child, that kingdom you are looking for, you will not be able. That's what being born again means. Being born again does not mean putting a tag on yourself and saying, I'm a Christian, or I go to this church or that. That's not what being born again is. And you realize that the statement being born again is to give you freedom and to give you that autonomy of power to sack all spiritual leaders. But it has been wrongly used to make you become a slave again, where you cannot think outside the doctrine of your church or your sect. So you leave this church, you go to that church, you leave one doctrine, go to another doctrine. You think you are independent, but you are being dependent on something you think that you see as a better version of your former chain. When you ask, you get. When you seek, you find. When you search, you will see what you're looking for. That is exactly what it means to be born again. So these spiritual leaders, are they necessary? No, they are not. But yes, they are for those who are not intelligent, those who are not enlightened enough, those who are low minded, those who are mortally oriented, those who are yet to be awakened, those who are yet to understand what it means that being a child forever is your greatest weapon against the ignorance of this world. My name is Greatman Ayilara. That is the truth I have told you today, and I will never lie to you. If you are a subscriber on this channel, make sure you turn on the notification button. And if you are a new person, a visitor, press the subscribe button and also the notification button. Put it on all. It will cost you extra data or extra money to do that. I want to leave this world having said everything I've discovered and show you all the things that I've known. Not because I need you to give me money, but because the more free people that we have in the world, the better the world becomes. Help me share this channel with as many people as possible, and also the message also. Let them understand that they don't have to be a slave forever. You don't need to grow old to the age of 100 and die, and you never knew anything at all about why you are here or the configuration of the planet where you live in. And I don't stop at that. I practice what I teach on Crystal Love Support Foundation. If you want to be one of us, you can find the information on the caption of this particular YouTube video and teaching. You can volunteer with us and also reach out to us in support. We want to transform the world. We have a movement going on where ordinary people are doing extraordinary things by reaching out to their fellow brothers and sisters all across the globe. And we know it will be successful if you are not one of us. Please come to the better side of life where you practice more of what you hear from inside of you, where you become the God that He has created you to be, than being a slave of men and needing a spiritual leader to tell you what to do or what not to do. They tell you what to wear, they tell you what to eat, they tell you where to go, they tell you who to marry. You are totally imprisoned because you think you are in need of these people. You don't need them. You have all that you need for this life and to attain your highest form of spirituality. And don't forget, to be a seeker is to become divine and to bring your divine reality into this mortal world. Thank you very much for listening to me today. And I bow to the divinity in you. Namaste. And see you some other time. Welcome to another episode of Greatman Ayilara Teaching, where we seek simply to know. Please ensure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification button, and to share with your friends.